Alright everyone, welcome to Almost Legit Garage. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of my new coilovers. Uh, now, admittedly cheated and already looked into it a little bit, but either way, I figured it'd be nice, or make a nice video to go over it with you guys, and you guys can kind of see what a nice higher end coilover system looks like. So this is made by Eibach. These are the Multi-Pro R2s. They are a street/track coilover, and they retail for about $3,000. So they are definitely up there in price. I got them on sale for quite a bit less, about half the price. But anyways, so you have your instructions right up the top. It gives you torque specs for all of the fasteners. So you can kind of go through full color instructions step by step, so shouldn't really be any trouble for somebody to put them on. See, it also comes with the rebound adjuster tool and your spring tools. So instead of using a spanner wrench, you poke these into the side of the coilover, and you can rotate the nut that way. So, a lot of good packaging in here, and we can see first hint of what we're getting. These have remote reservoirs, and they are also double adjustable. So this is your compression adjustment here on the reservoir, and on the top of the shock right here. You pull off this little protective cover thing, you have your rebound adjustment, which you have to use this little tool to get in and turn. Just give you a little more leverage. You'd have nice positive clicks. You'd ask for a little bit more of a click, but it's definitely got a good detent to it, especially in that direction. So these are these have a helper spring on them. Let me get that out of the box. So these have a helper spring. They're probably about, I don't know, 4.5 pounds, whatever. Nice light helper spring. All that's meant to do is keep the spring from shifting while it's unweighted. According to the instruction manual, this actually goes the other way with the helper spring on the bottom, but it shouldn't really matter either way. Has its bump stop there. Comes with a new nut, everything. So these, so obviously an Eibach coilover setup has Eibach springs on it, which Eibach springs are very well known in the industry as being very good quality, very consistent, linear. A lot of spec racing uses Eibach springs because they are so consistent. If you see the numbers here, I'll try to get a little closer for you. Oop, shaking the table. Okay, so 080 or 0800, that is your spring height. So it's an 8-inch spring. 250, that is 2.5-inch inside diameter, and 0300, that is a 300-pound spring. For comparison, the front shocks that I put on recently, or not front shocks, front lowering springs I put on recently and are currently on my car that these are going to be replacing, those are 320 pounds in the front. So it's got a little bit more, or a little bit less spring rate, but also the addition of the dampening adjustment and everything should make up for that and make it a little bit more street friendly. I might ask for a little more spring rate with an aggressive tire, but for your average kind of 300 tread wear range tire, these are about perfect. we'll see, we got nice braided hoses, coated corrosion. Now these are not independently ride height and preload adjustable, so they do the double adjust. So it's just got one nut for that. But it does have the feature of having an adjustable sway bar perch or whatever. So you can adjust your sway bar preload on the factory links. So that's nice to have. It's all made out, or the bodies are stainless steel. They're well labeled. But anyways, that's what we got for the fronts. Let's put this back and see what we got for the rears. Here is one of the rear springs and collars. Okay. So for the rear spring, we have again an identical spring rate, so it'll be a square spring rate setup. The adjusters right there, nicely machined, aluminum. These actually sit on top of the springs in this configuration. I know different manufacturers go one way or the other, but these sit on top. Not really much to say about it. It's another spring. But moving on. We have the other side. Actually, that's strange. So we have 275 7-inch spring versus an 8-inch spring that's 300 pounds. That is strange. I'm going to have to look into that and see if they didn't get mixed up on the coilovers themselves, or on the front coilovers. I haven't actually pulled out the other side yet. Okay. So moving on. We get down to the rear shock. So again, very well machined and everything. This goes in the factory position. Very nice machined end here for the bottom. The adjustment for the rebound is right there. Then of course again the adjustment for the compression is on the top of the reservoir. A little bit smaller reservoir, but the rears shouldn't need quite as much. Proprietary bump stop. And these actually are inverted compared to the factory struts that have the shaft coming out the top. This has the shaft coming out the bottom. There's a little bit of a unsprung weight difference, I believe, is what they say, but really shouldn't matter much. But generally, a inverted shock is slightly better. And the other side, of course, is the same. Here we have the mounting brackets for the reservoirs. So front and rear. I think they're side and side, but we will find out when we go to install them. Okay. Whew. So, back to that spring mix-up. What I found is that the fronts, they just had them mixed up between front and back. So I need to figure out which one goes where, ideally. But cat. But again, the other side is the same, except for some reason this has the 7-inch spring with the 275 pound weight to it. Also, I didn't show you guys before, these are the new strut tops, or these are kind of like the strut top adapters that neck it down to the 2.5-inch round spring like it's supposed to be. So hopefully it should glide fairly well and not bind up like some cheaper coilovers that try to force a smaller spring in the factory perch. So at least this has an adapter for that. Okay, so I will have to figure out which spring goes where, and it might be an option thing also. If you want more low in the front, or you need more low in the front or more up in the rear, you can swap them. I'm not 100% on that one. But moving on. To go along with these, because they don't come with any proprietary strut mounts, I have some of the ECS Tuning heavy duty shock mounts. So these are a little bit thicker or a little bit stiffer of a rubber, but still a factory drop-in or a drop-in replacement part. There's speculation that these are actually just a Audi TT replacement part, because the TTs have a little bit stiffer mounts to them. But anyways, it's got the little branding on it, which is nice. I know I had, if you'll see the strut, or the last strut install video, the little nuts on the back side broke off on the one side, and also the other side did it last time I had the shocks out. So I figured I'd replace that while we're at it. So those are nice. Then a common thing is the cross bolts, or the common issue I've run into is the cross bolts on these, cross bolts on these have a, I believe it's a 14mm triple square head to them. So I went with these, which is ECS's kind of assembled replacement for them. So a heavy duty, I believe, essentially a grade 8 bolt and a locking nut. So basically that just eliminates the need for the large triple square. And finally, I'm going to throw in a new sway bar end link, because I had a problem with them sticking the last time. But anyways, these are the Bilstein Phoebe, or Febby, however you want to pronounce it. Just OEM replacements, as I showed you. The strut itself has provisions for preload, so we can run a factory one, no problem. So these are a heck of a lot cheaper than an aftermarket setup, and serve the same purpose. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I'll get back to you on the which springs go where and that kind of thing. But coming up shortly, we'll have a install and setup video on these, mostly focused on the setup, because coilovers take a little bit more work to get dialed in. But either way, that is what it is, and these are really nice, and I'm really excited to have them on. We'll also do some reviews on what they handle like. Be interesting to see how a higher quality part compares to a cheaper kind of off-the-shelf thing like the Conies with the lowering springs. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more about the Project GTI, and see if we can't build some speed out of it. So also like this video if you want to see more of this. See you guys later. Thanks.